Good day, Professor Phillips and fellow classmates. Over the next several minutes, I'll walk through a strategic intelligence dashboard of Netflix Inc.'s capabilities using a pestle environmental scan, Porter's 5 forces industry analysis, a VRIO evaluation, and close with strategic recommendations based on that analysis. Before diving into the frameworks, here's a quick snapshot of Netflix. Its core business is global subscription video on demand streaming built around a large content library, a proprietary recommendation algorithm, and its own delivery network called Open Connect. It operates in over 190 countries, and in Q1 2026 alone, it reported $12.25 billion in revenue with a 32.3% operating margin. That said, the company faces real challenges right now. Slowing growth in mature markets, rising content costs, tightening regulation abroad, and increasingly consolidated competitors. That's the backdrop for the analysis that follows. Starting with PESTLE, which scans the external environment. Politically, Netflix is dealing with content quotas in the EU, tighter regulation in India, and a proposed US tariff on foreign-made production that would hit its cost-efficient international production model. Economically, currency swings affect reported revenue, and while inflation squeezes household budgets, streaming still looks cheap compared to movie tickets or cable bills, which has historically helped it during downturns. Socially, viewing habits are shifting toward short-form, mobile-first content, which is why Netflix has rolled out a vertical discovery feed and expanded into video podcasts. Continuing the pestle scan. Technologically, Netflix uses AV1 compression to cut bitrate needs by 20 to 30%, which lowers delivery costs and improves quality in bandwidth-constrained regions. Legally, it has to simultaneously satisfy content quotas, data privacy law, and licensing rules across dozens of different jurisdictions, which is a growing compliance burden. Environmentally, the energy demand of its global data centers keep efficiency investment a priority. Two issues stand out as genuinely disruptive. Potential US content tariffs that would raise production costs 20 to 30%, and the Paramount Skydance Warner Brothers merger, which reshapes the competitive and licensing landscape Netflix operates in. Moving along the dashboard to Porter's 5 forces, which looks at industry-level competitive pressure. New entrants face a low to medium threat because of high capital and infrastructure requirements. Supplier power is medium since Netflix has diversified its content sourcing, though top creative talent is still scarce and expensive. Buyer power is high because subscribers can switch platforms in minutes with essentially no switching costs. Substitutes are a medium to high threat since gaming, social media, and short-form video are competing for the same block of leisure time. And competitive rivalry is high with Disney Plus, Amazon, and now a consolidated Warner, Paramount, all fighting for market share. Of these five, competitive rivalry is the most strategically significant force affecting Netflix right now. Now, looking at that segment of the dashboard that looks inward with VRIO, which evaluates whether Netflix's own resources create a sustained competitive advantage. The content library is valuable, but not rare or hard to imitate anymore. So it's only a temporary advantage. The same goes for brand recognition, but tool resources clear all four VRIO criteria: the recommendation algorithm and the Open Connect delivery network. The algorithm alone drives an estimated 80% of everything watched on the platform, and it's deeply embedded into content acquisition, programming, and interface decisions, not just a standalone feature. That combination of value, rarity, imitability, and organization is what makes it Netflix's strongest resource. Now, bringing this analysis together, the major threat is rival consolidation, particularly the Paramount Skydance Warner Brothers combination, which creates a competitor with more scale and content depth than Netflix has faced from a single rival before. The emerging opportunity is the still young ad-supported tier, which gives Netflix a lower price point to convert price-sensitive prospects into a new revenue stream. And its clearest strategic edge is the pairing of its recommendation algorithm and Open Connect network, both of which are hard for a newly merged competitor to replicate quickly. Based on that, I'm recommending two actions. First, accelerate investment in ad tier infrastructure in markets where it's still nascent, turning subscriber price pressure into a revenue opportunity. Second, diversify production geography incrementally to reduce exposure to potential US tariffs without giving up the lower cost international hub that currently supports Netflix cost advantage. These are the sources that I drew on for this analysis, and they include Kennedy's strategic management, or that's our text, where I got the information for PESTEL, Porter's Five Forces, and VRIO frameworks, along with current industry reporting on Netflix's financials and competitive position. Thank you for watching.